Recording is in progress. All right. Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about today. Today is October 4th. It is the second work day of the fourth quarter. Yesterday was the first. Everybody good so far? Great. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about today. Is to say, let's be honest. What can you realistically accomplish by the end of the year? What's really possible? What can you really accomplish between now and the end of the year? Now, I bring this up for a couple reasons. Not next week, the week after that, we're going to start our what we call our run through the finish line, which is our little event that we do as a way to help people continue to fight on for the rest of the year. Things along those lines. What's possible? We're going to push. We're going to pull. We're going to do all these wonderful things. But we're going to talk about today what's really possible. What can you actually accomplish by the end of the year? So help me out here, though. What are some things going on that would make you think you can't accomplish as much as you want to between now and the end of the year? Be honest. What are some things going on in the world, in the market, that make you kind of think, I don't know how much I can accomplish between now and the end of the year? All right, so this is going to be one of those classes where I'm just going to talk to myself. Good. All right, so
I'm going on vacation for a week.
Okay, a week vacation, Yeah, week vacation, but that's earned. Okay, that's part of the business plan. That's part of the schedule you put together. Good. What else? What else is out there that makes us question whether or not we can really accomplish what we want to accomplish this year in the fourth quarter?
Dealing with for sale by owner.
Okay, dealing with for sale by owner, sure. What else? What else is out there that makes us question whether or not we can really accomplish what we want to accomplish in the fourth quarter? How about the fact that interest rates are rising? Could that maybe potentially have an impact on our thought on what can we accomplish in the fourth quarter? Yes or no? How about the holidays? Can the holidays factor into what can we accomplish between now and the end of the year? Right? Some people want to wait till the beginning of the year. Some people don't want to sell during the holidays. We'll start talking about those kind of things. How about negativity just in the marketplace? Prices slowing down a little bit. Okay, could that have a factor in whether or not we accomplish what we accomplish between now and the end of the year? Okay, so there's all of these things. This is like a perfect storm of negativity. It's the fourth quarter, which is already a slower time because there's going to be less transactions. We'll talk about that number here in a minute. So the mindset that we have to overcome is, well, it's the fourth quarter. So I have to overcome the fact that there's not many transactions. I have to overcome the fact that there's people going to tell me that there's nothing going on in real estate in the fourth quarter. We have the holidays in the fourth quarter. So some people take time off. They have clients that take time off. There's all these other different things. That's a factor. Okay. We have interest rates that are rising. That's a factor. We have prices that are slowing down in a lot of areas. That's a factor. Days on market, people staying in their homes longer. It's like a perfect storm of negativity that factor into, well, what can I really accomplish between now and the end of the year? So what I wrote down here, I have a bunch of things of realistically what you can accomplish between now and the end of the year. My thought is, as we go through these items, is if you actually committed to doing this stuff, you would have a great fourth quarter. And if you have a great fourth quarter, what do you also typically have?
A great first quarter.
A great first quarter. A great first quarter. Now, who would like to start 2023 with closings in January?
Fine.
Okay, so we have a couple people. Good. The rest of you just mute yourselves and enjoy the rest of the show. Make sure to tip your waitress. All right, good job. Okay. So if we do all this work, if we do all this activity in the fourth quarter, not only are we going to close more deals, not only are we going to make more things happen this year, but we're going to set up a great first quarter next year. Okay. So that's part of what we're going to do. So here's where I'm going to go through this right now. If you have questions, unmute yourself and put it in the chat box. I'll be monitoring that. So I wrote down here, October working days. October working days. Starting tomorrow, I know today's not over, but let's just say starting tomorrow, there are 19 working days left in October. Now, I just count working days as Monday through Friday. Now, you might work some Saturdays. You might not work Monday through Friday. This is just a general landscape of things. There's 19 working days left in October starting tomorrow. November, there's 22 working days, but I subtracted 2 days for Thanksgiving because I figure you probably won't work Thanksgiving. I feel like I keep freezing and then unfreezing. But we're going to push through this, I guess. There's 22 working days in November, but I took 2 days out for Thanksgiving. So there's 20 working days in November. December, same thing. There's 22 working days, but I took 2 days out for Christmas. Now, you might take more for other holidays, but I just took 2 days out for Christmas. So I put 20 working days in December. So starting tomorrow, there are 59 working days left in the year. Everybody with me so far? Okay, great. 59 working days left in the year. So now that we know how many working days are left, and again, you will have to adjust this for your own schedule. Here's what I wrote down. Here's what's possible between now and the end of the year. This is what you can still accomplish. If you did 30 minutes of script role play every working day, 30 minutes of script role play every working day, that would be 29 and a half hours of role play between now and the end of the year. So let me ask you this. If you role played scripts and objection handlers for 29 and a half hours between now and the end of the year, would you be better at what to say and how to say it? Good. Okay. So that's that. Then I wrote down here next, 30 minutes of listing presentation practice per day. So 30 minutes of practicing your scripts and then 30 minutes of listing presentation practice per day. Now, at least once a week, you have to role play a listing presentation. You have to actually role play it and record it. But every other day, you can either role play it or write it out, chant it out, whatever you want to do for 30 minutes. But if you did 30 minutes a day, that's 29 and a half hours of listing presentation practice between now and the end of the year. Let me ask you this. Can anyone get a little improvement on their listing presentation? Would 29 and a half hours of practice between now and the end of the year help you improve your listing presentation?
Yes.
If you improve your listing presentation, will you take more listings?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that one stumped some people. Let's try this again. If you practice the listing presentation 29 and a half hours between now and the end of the year, will you get more listings?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Heart palpitations. Oh, man. Okay. So that's 30 minutes of script practice. I've got 29 and a half hours of script practice, so I know what to say and how to say it. Therefore, when I'm prospecting, I will generate more leads and appointments. If I spend 29 and a half hours working on my listing presentation, I will then close more of the listings. All right, so that's where we're at so far. Now what I want you to do is preview 3 homes per day. Can you realistically, don't tell me what I want to hear, can you realistically preview 3 homes per day? Is that reasonable?
Virtually?
No, not virtually. Go in person because people lie virtually, not the agents. The listing agents lie. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I have never, ever seen a listing that shows the house across the street that has 8 cars in the grass, a torn roof, and it's a total eyesore. I've never once seen that street view on a listing online. Anyone seen that? Yet that house exists. Go preview 3 homes per day. How long would it take you to preview 3 homes in person? I don't know. What would it, an hour? Could you preview 3 homes in an hour? 30 minutes? 45 minutes?
Yes.
I don't think I'm asking for a lot here. 3 homes per day. If you did that for 59 working days, that's 177 homes previewed. Let me ask you, if you went in person and saw in person, and you were inside 177 homes in your marketplace between now and the end of the year, could you say you are the market expert? 100%. Do you think any agent in your market is going to see 177 homes in person, inside and out between now and the end of the year?
Just a few.
Just a few, maybe at best. The answer for pretty much everyone is no.
Our team.
Do you want to be the market? Do you want to be the market expert? Do you want to show that you have knowledge? Do you want to show that you know what you're talking about? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, in the last 3 months, I've seen 177 homes in your marketplace. Do you think any agent that you talk to has seen more homes? No. Therefore, who do you think knows the market the best, how to price it and how to sell it? You do. Boom, done. I just gave you a script.
Robert? Maybe this is in the question, but if you want to go to preview a house and you record it, can you just put it on the internet, or you need to ask for permission to anybody?
I think you can just put it on there. You just can't say that you're the listing agent. That's the no-no. Can't say that you're the
Thank you.
listing agent, but yeah, you can say I'm previewing this home. Sure. Okay. So now you're practicing the scripts 30 minutes per day. You're practicing the listing presentation 30 minutes a day. You're previewing 3 homes. Now what you're going to do is you're going to prospect 4 hours a day. Well, Robert, 4 hours. Usually when we do these things, we talk about 3 hours. No. We've stepped it up. Why do you think I suggest prospecting 4 hours instead of 3 hours right now? Why?
So we do 3 instead of 2.
What's that?
When you say 3, normally we do 2. So if we do 4, probably
well,
we're gonna do
there you
3.
go. When I say 3, normally you do 2. So if I say 4, you'll do 3. Got it. You're probably right. But why else? Why do you think I'm suggesting 4 hours of prospecting instead of 3?
More contacts, more money.
More contacts, more money. Yes. But why specifically right now?
The market is down certain percentage. We got to bump out the contact to make up.
What he said. You need more contacts to get more business right now. Yes or no?
Yes.
You just need it. And we'll go over the numbers next week, okay, to show you some of those stats. But you need more contacts to get more business. If you're making the same amount of contacts that you've made for the previous months, previous year, you will get less business. It's simple math. So I'm suggesting 4 hours of prospecting because we need more leads. We need more contacts. We need more people. Simple as that. So if you prospect 4 hours a day for 59 working days, that's 236 hours of prospecting between now and the end of the year. Now, I asked the question earlier, how many contacts can you realistically get per hour if you're focused? So, and Juan Carlos had said 10, okay, which I think is generous. Let's just say it's 8. Let's say it's 8. 236 hours, 8 contacts an hour is 1,888 contacts between now and the end of the year. 1,888. 4 hours prospecting per day, 8 contacts per hour. Now, let me wrap this into a nice little bow before we go to the next point. If between now and the end of the year, you did 29 and a half hours of practicing your scripts, 29 and a half hours of practicing your listing presentation, you saw 177 homes, and you talked to 1,888 people, would you find some deals? Would you find more deals than you found in the third quarter?
Yes.
Okay. There you go. Class dismissed.
That soon? Let's go home. Not so fast.
But okay, but think about this. I didn't say anything that was unreasonable. 30 minutes of script practice, 30 minutes of listing presentation practice. That's 1 hour. Previewing 3 homes a day. Let's just say that takes another hour. That's 2 hours so far. And you prospect 4 hours. That's 6 hours. If you did that for 6 hours and you were working 2 hours and you were working 8 hours a day, the other 2 hours would take care of itself. I promise you. Because you'll be on appointments, you'll be on showings, you'll be pre-qualifying, you'll be negotiating contracts, you'll be doing those things. I'm asking just for those 6 hours. Make sense? When Mike Ferry's on stage, he says, what percentage of your time should be on money-making activities?
75 to 80.
75 to 80% of your time should be on
80.
money-making activities, right? Well, I just gave you 6 hours. In an 8-hour day, that's 75%. Done and done. Okay? That's part of what you can still accomplish between now and the end of the year. Questions or concerns on that before I move on to the next part?
Well, if you're previewing 3 homes a day, I just wonder if anybody has an estimate how long it takes to knock 10 doors around each preview.
I would recommend you go find out. That's and I say that, Donna, because it's tough because everyone's neighborhoods are different. So if you're door knocking 10 homes around Arcadia, the lots are bigger, so it's going to take you longer. If you're door knocking 10 homes, you know, in other areas, they're smaller. Some people walk faster, some people walk slower, some people talk more, some people talk less. So you're going to get a wide variety of answers. But more importantly, most people don't do it, so you're probably not going to get any answers. So I would just recommend you go do it, and then let's find out.
Robert,
Yeah.
The question here, how do you keep the distractions away and stay focused, keep the consistency to do it for all these days?
What's your distraction?
They come and go, different things.
Well, if it's a lot of distractions, then you're the distraction. If it's one particular distraction, then you're getting distracted by one thing. If you're letting a bunch of distractions distract you, then that's on you. You're looking for distractions. Okay. If you were to say, God, well, you know what it is? It's other agents in my office. They always bother me. Great. Then just put a sign up that says, hey, I'm prospecting right now. Leave me alone. I'm previewing right now. Leave me alone. I'm doing whatever I need to do right now. Leave me alone. I'll talk to you at 11:30. Hey, we'll have lunch at 12. If it's one thing, you can do it. If it's a bunch of things, then you're looking for the distractions. So then what I would say to you is rewrite your goals, have them in front of you, because if you have strong goals and you really want to accomplish something by the end of the year, you won't let things distract you. Okay. So that's the harsh answer of the reality of what it is. Okay. If it's one thing, just turn it off. Well, it's the one thing, Robert, is that, clients keep calling me. Then tell your clients, hey, here's a copy of my schedule. I'm doing this from this to this, and I return calls at this time. Remember what we talked about yesterday, that only 3% of sellers actually think it's important if you're accessible 100% of the time. So if it's a client thing, give them your schedule and say, this is when I'm available for clients. Okay. If it's a social media thing, because, oh, I got these apps on my phone, then turn off the notifications or delete the app from your phone because it pings and pings and pings. Or just put your cell phone in the desk and turn it off. That's what they do at the prospecting schools. When you go to the Mike Ferry prospecting school, they take your cell phone. Well, they used to. I don't know if they still do now. Years ago, they used to do that. Now people might have a heart attack. Okay. All right, moving on to the next. So here's the next thing to accomplish between now and the end of the year. I wrote down here, add one person per day to your database. Add one person per day to your database. If you're prospecting 4 hours and you're contacting 8 people an hour, that's 32 contacts a day. Add at least one person to your database per day. If you do that between now and the end of the year, your database will have been added 59 people. Do we need to keep growing our database? Yes or no?
Constantly.
One a day, 59 more people by the end of the year. Okay, one a day. I wrote down here next, add one absentee owner per day to your absentee owner list. Add one absentee owner per day to your absentee owner list. That's 59 absentee owners added by the end of the year. Now, I'm going to put a link in the chat box because I have a feeling not many of you are doing this. So I said the other day on absentee owners, I'm not going to go over the whole thing. I said, create an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Doc list where you put the name of the absentee owner, the address, the phone number, and when is the lease up. Now, in order to find out how the lease is up, you have to ask when the lease is up. So I created a template for you. Now, do not put your people on this list because this list is shared with everybody. And they will then steal your list. And I will not feel bad about it at the slightest. So take this and copy it and create your own list, but add one person. So now you, at the end of the year, you'd have 59 absentee owners. You have their names, their phone numbers, their addresses, and you know when the lease is expired, which means you have 59 properties when to call and ask when if their lease is expired so that you could sell the property. So one per day. So you're going to add one person to your database. You're going to add one absentee owner. I wrote down here next, get the top 5 people from your database, your top 5, your fave 5, and ask them for a testimonial. Go to your top 5 people in your database that love you the most. You have 5, I promise. I do not want all of you contacting me. Please. I love you. Okay. I do not want to do 34 testimonials. Okay. Get your top 5 and ask them for a testimonial, right? And then wherever you do it, if you do it on your website, if you do it on Zillow, Google, whatever the case may be, but get some testimonials out there. Okay. By the end of the year, that's 5 new testimonials added by the end of the year. I wrote down here, contact your database. Now here's the schedule to contact your database between now and the end of the year. Check this out. You're going to do a weekly email. A weekly email to your database. Okay, just send them some sort of real estate article. Set it, forget it. Weekly email. If you do that, they'll get 12 emails from you between now and the end of the year. If you start that next week. Okay, a weekly email. You're going to do 3 mailers. October, November, December. 3 mailers that they can touch, they can feel. 3 mailers. You're going to call them, verbally call them October and December. So you're going to call them this month, and then you're going to call them again in December. So you're going to get 2 calls. You're going to text them in November, probably around Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay? So weekly email, 3 mailers, call October, call December, text November. That's 18 total touches. 18. There is still time to have 18 touches with your database between now and the end of the year. If you touch your database 18 times between now and the end of the year, going into 2023, are they going to be pretty excited and pretty happy with your service? Okay. Yep.
Question.
Yes,
Robert.
Tess. Yes, Tess.
Did you say mail show on those 3 mails that you have? Exactly what are you
Doesn't
Giving-
matter. Some sort of postcard, something about your listing, something about the market. Doesn't matter.
Okay,
Don't
That's
spend
fine.
too much time on it. Just something that's got you, that's got your information of real estate value that they can touch.
got it.
So, you know, for you, it might be a recent sale, a recent listing, something like that.
Got it.
Yep. Now,
Thank
some of you might be thinking, gosh, Robert, 18 touches between now and the end of the year. That's a lot. Does anybody remember yesterday what percentage of sellers definitely or probably would use their agent again? Does anyone remember that number?
82,
It was 89.
89.
You were close. Good job. 89% definitely or probably would use their agent again. Does anybody remember what percentage of people actually use their agent again? It's 26. 89, 26. 89, 26. Don't ever tell me that you're bombarding them with information. Okay? Unless you want to be in the 26, then God bless you. Don't do anything. They know you're in real estate, I promise. So that's how you're going to contact the database. And then you're going to get 5 of them, get a testimonial. All right. We making sense so far? All right, great. Now, just a couple more points here on what we can still accomplish between now and the end of the year. I hesitate to say these next two because you're going to hear the first part. My fear is that you're not going to hear the second part. So stay with me for both parts. Contact 5 expireds per day. That's part 1. Part 2, only if you know verbatim, upside and down, inside and out, left and right, the script and the 3 objection handlers. If you don't contact them. But if you know the expired script and the 3 objection handlers, boom, on the spot, like that, you contact 5 a day. That would be 472 expired contacts between now and the end of the year. And then you're going to contact 1 for sale by owner today. This is part 1, 1 for sale by owner today. Part 2 is only if you know the scripts and objection handlers, 2 for sale by owners. Otherwise, don't do it. But if you did that, that would be 59 for sale by owner contacts. So let me ask you something here. In this marketplace, are there more expired? Yes or no? Okay. Do for sale by owners need real estate help? Yes or no? In this marketplace? Okay, great. If you know the scripts and you know the objection handlers and you contacted 472 expireds and 59 for sale by owners between now and the end of the year, is there a deal in there potentially? Maybe 1, maybe 2. I don't know. But that's just 5 a day on expires, 1 for sale by owner. And this counts towards the other contacts that you're making. All right. 3 more points here. I wrote down here, work on 1 skill or habit per week. Commit to 1 skill or habit that you really want to work on per week. And if you do that, you will have worked on 12 skills or habits by the end of the year. So let me give you an example. Robert, I really want to get the pre-qual down. Okay, great. Then this week, make that your role play. Get the pre-qual down. Get the pre-qual down every day. Chant it out, write it out, role play, get the pre-qual down. I really want to work on personality styles. Okay, then every day work on a personality style. Start with driver today, amiable tomorrow, expressive, whatever the case may be. If at the end of the year you've developed 12 new habits or skills, will you generate more business? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, 1 a week. Don't try to do 12 habits in 1 week. 1 habit per week for 12 weeks. I wrote down here, read 1 book per month. Read 1 book per month, which means you'll read 3 more books between now and the end of the year. Anyone ever heard Neil or Mike talk about the importance of reading? Read a book a month. Some of you, I know Armin reads like a book a day. Some of you read a lot more, but one a month is reasonable, right? I'm not being unreasonable, am I? Okay, great. Armin, you were going to say something.
Wasn't gonna say one a month, but it was pretty close. One a day, I mean, but I think I'm at 43 right now for the year.
43
Wow.
for the year. Baby. So there you go. So one a month, 3 books a year. Neil Schwartz has always said, in 5 years, you're the same person you are today, except for the people you hang out with and the books you read. We have to read more. I'm guilty because I'm not a reader. Okay. Never been my strong suit. I'm guilty, but one a month is reasonable.
I was the only one.
Okay, so before I get to the last point here, is anything that I've said here unreasonable? Be honest, because sometimes I write stuff out and I'm like, I don't know, maybe this is too much. Is anything I said here unreasonable?
Nope.
So everything here is doable. Now, and we all agree, because I've asked this a few times during this, that if you did this, you would have a phenomenal fourth quarter, which would lead to a phenomenal first quarter, correct? Which means everybody's going to go do it, right? This is the best audience I've ever had. This is the best audience I've ever had. This is the best audience I've ever had.
Yes.
There we go. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Last thing here. Let's talk about some money, potential money stuff. So we obviously know business is down. So what I tried to figure out is I tried to give some sort of projection on how many closings we will have in the fourth quarter in the MLS, our MLS. Everyone in other MLSs would be different. So what I did is I looked at the last 3 years and tried to figure out what was the drop from the third quarter to the fourth quarter. Okay, you don't need to know this, but I'll just explain this to you. In 2019, the fourth quarter had 11% less closings than the third quarter. So 2019, the drop in closings was 11% from the third quarter to the fourth quarter. In 2020, the drop was 1%. So the fourth quarter had 1% less closings than the third quarter. In 2021, the drop was 9%. So the fourth quarter had 9% less closings than the third quarter. So I figure if I just gave a 10% drop from the third quarter to the fourth quarter, it gives me some sort of reasonable answer. Now, some of you are going to be very difficult and say, it's going to be 25. You might be right. for purposes of this class, we're going to assume a 10% drop because that's been the average over the last 3 years from the third quarter to the fourth quarter. Well, in our MLS, the third quarter closings were 52,488. 52,488. That was the third quarter closings in our MLS. So if I do a 10% drop, that means the projected fourth quarter closings in our MLS would be 47,239. So in our MLS, possibly 47,000 plus deals closing. Now, again, it could be a lot less. Who knows? Okay, but let's just go with that. Does anybody know what the average sales price is in our MLS?
1.1 million.
790 San Diego.
So there you go. So Armin had it. It's just under 1.1 million. 1,037,267 to be exact. 1,037,267. So you don't have to write these numbers down until the end because I'm going to get, this is a lot of math. 47,239 closings. And if you take the average sales price, that means the total volume closed is going to be just around $49 billion in our MLS. Sales volume closed, $49 billion. Now, if I take 5% commission, let's just say the average transaction is 5% total commission. I think it's probably less right now, but let's just say 5. That means in the fourth quarter in our MLS, commission that will be handed out will be $2.4 billion. That's the amount of commission, not volume. That's the amount of commission that will be handed to real estate agents in the fourth quarter, $2.4 billion. Does anyone else besides me think that's a lot of money? Okay. I say that because this is what's really possible. Market's down. There will be less transactions. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But because our prices are so high, and because there still is going to be tens of thousands of transactions being done, and remember, I can't stress this enough. Every real estate transaction requires 2 people. Requires a buyer and a seller. Therefore, you have 2 chances at every transaction. So even if the transactions drop, there's still 2 sides to every transaction. $2.4 billion is what's possible. Now, yeah, I get it. Yeah, Robert, but you're counting the average prices in Beverly Hills and I'm in Beaumont. Okay, I get it. Okay, your average price might be less. But so is your average cost of living. So it all evens out. All right. Well, yeah, but you're, in Irvine, there's 200 transactions. In my area, there's only 15. Then go get one of the 15. Why aren't you getting one of the 15? Actually, one of the 30, because there's 30 transactions being done. If your area only gets 15, why aren't you getting one? Why can't you beat out 30 other agents? Right? Well, what about the city next door? Because there's not a single person on here that only works one city. This is the funniest part about agents that tell me, well, my city only does this, and you only work one city. Yeah. And then I see your next transaction and it's an hour and a half away. Yeah. Right. Come on now. Let's be real. But does that at least excite you a little bit that yes, things are down. Yes, things are hard, but there's $2.4 billion that can be made. Now, if we wrap this all in a nice little package, a little Christmas package with a bow on top, and you do what we just talked about in terms of 29 and a half hours of practice, 29 hours listing presentation, 177 previews, 1,888 contacts, 472 expires, 59 for sale by owners, 18 touches to your database. Could you get some of that $2.4 billion?
Yes.
God damn it, then go get it. I don't want to hear anymore about the negativity and things like that going on. Yeah, it's hard. It sucks. Interest rates are higher. I get it. There's less transactions. I get it. It's hard to get a deal. I get it. 2.4 billion. Get some of it. And we just laid out a plan of action for you to do it. Am I nuts? Did I just, or is this possible?
Very possible.
I was waiting for someone to say both. Yes, you're nuts, and this is possible. That was the point of today. I was going to do this class Monday, but Neil called me and says, hey, I can't make it today. Do you have material? I got a few things.
So Robert, the question is, what's stopping us to not do it?
I don't know. I don't ask that question because I don't want to even get in that conversation. I don't want to get in the conversation of what's stopping you. I just want you to do. Just do. I just put my notes in the chat box. Okay. I didn't finish typing it because I wrote this all down on a piece of paper. So I have to do the commissions at the very bottom. I'll do that if you want to hang on. I'll do that here in a minute. But I just wanted to show really what's possible. It's hard. It's difficult. You're going to get objections. You're going to do that. But that's why I said prospect 4 hours a day instead of 3, because you're going to need more leads. You're going to get more objections. That's just the game. But for $2.4 billion, give me an objection. I'm cool. For 2.4 bill, tell me you have a friend in the business. All for it. Tell me tell me that you want to wait for 2.4 bill. Yeah, come on, bring it on. Let's go. Rates are at 7%, 6%, 2.4 bill. They could be at 12. I don't care. Not worried about the rates. I'm trying to get my fair share. It's just a different mentality. That's the point of all this. Questions on anything we went over today?
Thank you, Robert. I was waiting on my 90 days plan until the end of the year, and you just amplify everything on my mind. You know how to do it. So thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. That's all I got. I appreciate everybody being here. Hopefully